I'm going to be recording this workshop today, and so if anybody wants a copy of it afterwards, feel free to reach out, and I'll get that sent over to you. Thank you everybody for joining. I'm super excited to get started and excited that all of you have jumped on today. This is going to be an engaging workshop, so feel free to ask questions. You can put them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. We will, at each interim, each section will stop and see if anybody has any questions, but we want people to learn as much as possible and get as much out of today as possible. So we're going to be talking about, when it comes to strategic planning, creating a framework that turns your strategic plan into organizational success. So when we talk about strategic planning, we could go on for hours and hours and hours, but we only have 2 hours of your day. So we're going to stick within the 2 hours and get very specific when we're talking about strategic planning. Kendra, if you want to go to the next slide. We're going to go around and have a chance to hear from each one of you. If you can share your name, the organization you represent, and what is your passion. And if we want to go ahead and kick that off with, let's see, Deborah.
I'm just going to be first. I am Deborah Faison from the Housing Authority of Florence, and I am the Operations Administrator. And what else did you need to know?
What is your passion?
What is my what?
Passion.
My passion?
Yes.
Vacationing.
Well, welcome, Deborah.
Thank you.
Julia.
Yes, I'm Julia Daly. I hold many hats, but I'm a financial assistant for Mosaic Church in Clarksville, Tennessee. But we also, I'm a founder of Going Global, which is our missions department. We've been doing missions since 2003, become a nonprofit, I think 05, but my passion is missions. I'm a nurse by trade, so that's what I love to do. If I didn't have grandkids, I would live in Zimbabwe.
Welcome. Brenda. Oh, it looks like you're on mute, Brenda.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
My name is Brenda Kane, and I currently am the customer care manager by Housing Authority in Florence. Our passion is a lot of things. One is really the elderly. It's one of my passions. I love nobody messing with my elderly people. So that's one of my passions.
Welcome, Brenda. Lisa.
Hi, my name is Lisa Quinn. Sorry you can't see me. I need technical support over here. I'm with Valley Restart Shelter. I'm the fiscal manager and HR supervisor. Valley Restart is a homeless shelter in Hemet. My passion, many things. My family, my animals, helping the shelter reach its financial goals so that we can continue to help homeless people in our valley. It really feeds my soul to see that in our valley, to help people.
Welcome. Zach.
Morning, everyone. Zach Tucker with the San Bernardino County Museum Foundation. I'm its executive director. Support a museum system, which includes the one just down the street from Smith Marion International Headquarters, apparently. So we have a museum site here in Redlands, and then one in Victor Valley, and then 4 historical sites. We see about 90,000 people every. So my passion is just the nonprofit sector in general. I've been working in the nonprofit setting for the better part of 30 years now, and I feel like this is really the best place to actually make progress for some of the important things that either the government can't do for one reason or corporate America doesn't want to do for whatever reason. So Kendra, thanks for putting this on today, and we'll looking forward to it.
Thank you, Zach. Vivian.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Vivian Cash. I'm the Associate Director here at REACH. We were formerly CASA, the Center Against Sexual Assault. We're actually not far from Lisa. We're also located in Hemet. And my passion is definitely working with survivors of sexual assault, especially our child population.
Thank you, Vivian. Gail.
Good morning, Gail Hepner. I'm the Executive Director for REACH. And I would have to kind of echo Zach. I've been working in the nonprofit world for over 30 years now, and am very passionate about that and passionate about what we offer to the San Jacinto Valley here at REACH. And then secondarily, my other passion is my granddaughters. They bring a lot of joy and a lot of fun into my life.
Thank you, Gail. Let's see, I'll go to Kendra.
My name is Kendra Dockham. I'm an audit principal here at Smith Marian & Company. I'd be remiss if I didn't say accounting was my passion, but it's hard to call that a passion. What gets me going every day is really the clients we serve, the industry we serve. I enjoy working exclusively with nonprofits, and this time of year, as hectic as it is, I get really big uplift out of working with our clients and seeing what they're doing for our communities.
And then Kristen.
My name is Kristen Gortel. I'm the office manager at in the Tennessee office of Smith Marian. And my passion, I wish I could say it was auditing, but it's not. I just help make sure this office runs. Outside of the office, I guess my passion would be travel. If I don't get to travel, I like to plan imaginary trips and hope that I get to go. So I love seeing the world.
Shona.
Hello, I'm Shona Rodman. I'm the office manager at our Redlands location here at Smith Marian & Company. My passion, I would definitely have to say, is my family. I wouldn't be where I am today without them, and they motivate me and drive me to keep pushing forward and be better for them and for myself as well.
And I see somebody, iPhone 3. I don't know if that's somebody joining for sound or if that's someone else.
Yeah, that's Laura. She's trying to get it to work on her computer, but still having issues.
Okay. Is sound working for you, Laura? Can you introduce yourself? Or are you still having some technical difficulties?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I think it's just this laptop. It's really old. I think I just need a new computer because it's the only one I had access to with the camera. But anyways, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Laura Daly. I'm the finance director for Mosaic Church and for Going Global. I've been overseeing their finances for a little over 6 years now. And what my passions are I love to travel. I love interior design. I love just, being outside when I can. That's pretty much it.
Well, welcome. And I hope that you get that new computer. Sounds like you're having some computer issues. We have some great organizations and individuals represented today. And I'm just really excited for the opportunity for you guys to be able to get into smaller groups too and get to know each other a little bit better and be able to gain knowledge from each other. So I know you came to, hear Kendra speak, hear from Smith Marian, but you'll also be learning a lot from each other today. So I'm Hannah. I'm with Smith Marian. I'm the firm administrator, and I'm passionate about strategic planning. I'm passionate about seeing organizations grow and get better. And I'm passionate about the work that all of you guys do. It's very inspiring to hear about all the great work that you guys do at your nonprofits and housing authorities. I'm going to turn it over to Kendra.
All right. So while Hannah's passionate about strategic planning, we've all done strategic planning. Basically, if we don't put that strategic plan into action, it just becomes a document. It's an exercise that we do every year. We revisit it again and find out where we're right where we were at last year. So that's kind of the focus of what we're hoping to look at today, is how do we build the structure that allows us to make sure we're putting that strategic plan into action. The benefits would be that our organizations are more proactive rather than reactive. It creates a sense of direction so that hopefully all our efforts are going towards our goals. That increases our operational efficiency, program effectiveness, and makes our organizations hopefully more durable and flexible. So we've got a couple poll questions. If it's possible, you want to be able to open your camera and put it up to the QR code, and it should take you to the app. You can also join online if you can't get it through your phone app at slido.com and put in the number for our poll, 2255100. Give everybody a chance.
So when I open it up, it goes to Q&A and then polls. Are you saying on polls, I put that hashtag?
It should go to the app and you should have the first polling question up.
Oh, it just, never mind. It just popped up.
There you go. All right. Was everybody able to get in?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So our first polling question is, your organization participates in strategic planning annually, sporadically, hoping there's no nevers. I think for our firm, our actual strategic planning portion happens yearly. But I know in some of our organizations where it's predominantly working with volunteer board members, wearing several hats in our organization, it may not happen as often as we would like. So it looks like about 57% of us are doing this annually. 43%, it's happening when somebody decides we need to do this. Correct? All right. So strategic planning by our organization has resulted in many successes, remains ongoing and relevant, results in only short-term gains. And the last option, which we hope is not the case, is a document that lives in a binder. So fantastic. Well, we're about split a third, a third, a third. So some of us are seeing successes. It's remaining ongoing and relevant. And there's only a third of us who are seeing short-term gains from our strategic planning. So that's a good start. So we want to kind of just go over, why do strategic plans fail? And it's not that the plan fails, but it doesn't produce the results we were hoping for. The missing piece in that is accountability. Without accountability, nobody's following through on these goals. And if we're not revisiting our strategic plan on a routine basis, it's not really structuring our efforts. It's not keeping us targeted on our goal, and we're not able to adjust it as conditions change. So in order to create accountability, what we're going to discuss here today is the need to create a leadership team of people to help us carry out this strategic plan. No one individual can do this all. Now, I know many of you, and yeah, you're doing darn near all of it, but one individual can't do it all. We only have 24 hours every day. We need to make sure when we put together this leadership team that we have the right people and we have them in the right roles. And we need a clear accountability chart so that we know when we're going to enact a portion of our strategic plan, not necessarily who's going to do it, but who's going to be responsible for it and oversee it getting completed. And the last step is letting go, knowing when to trust your leadership team and let these things move forward. So again, your leadership team need to be the right people. They need to be in the right seat. The right people, that's sometimes hard to determine, but what we try and look at is, do they align with our values on a personal level? So that doesn't mean we all have to agree on the same things, but at our core, the values of our organization, where we're trying to go, the right people align with that. They thrive in the culture of our organization. They're happy people, typically. I say that with reservations. Not always the happiest person, but they make your organization a better place to be. So the keys to success for your leadership team, once we've got the right people, is a few little ground rules for your leadership team. They have to be unified. Whether we're all in agreement, if we make a decision as a team, we have to communicate that. We have to effectively communicate accountability. What is everybody accountability area? Our team members need to be able to continually adjust. As team leaders, they have to be able to simplify, delegate, predict, systemize, and structure. They have to operate within only one system. We cannot have multiple systems within our organization, and our leaders need to be open-minded, growth-oriented, and vulnerable. That means I have to be willing to be wrong, and I have to be willing to change my opinion. Next, we have to make sure everybody's in their right seat. Somebody is in their right seat when they're operating within their unique abilities. We will cover that a little more. They have to have the characteristics of get it, want it, and have the capacity. And they have to be on the right spot in our accountability chart. So we have a short video about unique abilities for us to watch. Oh, I have to push a button. There we go.
Let's see, I think you got to share your sound. If you pause it real quick.
Hold on, what?
You got to share your sound.
Oh, how do I do that, Hannah?
See, hold on. It's not showing up for me.
Is it in my settings?
Yeah, it should be in your settings, but I'm not finding it. Okay, maybe try if you go to audio settings.
I'm looking for those. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Here they go. Got it. All right. I have speakers, audio settings.
Let's see. Usually there's something that says share sound. But it's just not giving me that option.
Nope.
Okay, try pushing play one more time.
All right.
No, it's still not sharing. Um,
Kendra, do you see your share screen button still? If you click share screen, there might be a little clickable thing. Or if you unshare your screen and reshare,
I love the teamwork here.
when you hit share again, before you actually pick your screen to share, there should be a little button at the bottom left that says share sound.
All right, at the bottom left. There we go. You got it.
Hey.
I love it. Thank you so much. I learned something new today. Let's try it again.
Are successful, they also
All right.
become increasingly.
Pause. We'll go back to the beginning. Thank you, everybody.
People who choose to become entrepreneurs are betting their entire future on their own capabilities because they are confident that they can achieve much bigger and better results on their own. But as a
Did it go away?
mhm.
Oh. Let me try again. Thought if I got rid of that screen I was looking at, I could see everybody's faces. That is my fault for clicking. All right. We'll try one more time.
become more successful, they also become increasingly busier, quickly getting buried in non-productive details and getting trapped in complex, non-profitable, energy-draining activities. Those entrepreneurs who have escaped these complexities, however, have done so by organizing their entire personal and organizational progress around a concept called unique ability. And unique ability means four things. One, doing what you are passionate about. The biggest entrepreneurial reward is being increasingly successful at doing what you love. Two, being a hero to a growing number of great customers and clients in the marketplace whose greater success will increase your success. Three, being passionate and a hero in ways that continually multiply your income and your reputation. And four, combining being passionate, being a hero, and multiplying your results into 10 times growth. Now, the moment that unique ability becomes the entrepreneur's guiding principle and operating strategy, he or she can immediately begin achieving breakthroughs in simplicity, creativity, teamwork, and productivity. The simpler things become, the more their results multiply. The first thing to achieving this increased simplicity and multiplier growth is right away to identify 5 things you're doing right now that prevent achievement and actually drain your energy. Now, over the next 90 days, eliminate these activities. Stop doing them, delegate them to someone with unique ability in that area, or outsource them. At the same time, pick the 5 activities that you love doing the most, that create value for others, and that increase your income, and then focus your time and energy on doing more of them. At the end of the first 90-day period, review your progress and then do the exercise over again. Keep eliminating what isn't unique ability and keep expanding what is. Within half a year, you will notice a significant leap in your personal sense of morale, your momentum, and motivation, and you will notice a big jump in your decision-making, your creativity, your communication, your productivity, profitability, and most of all, teamwork. When entrepreneurs simplify everything they do just within the framework of their unique abilities, all of their teamwork continually multiplies across markets, across industries, and around the world. The 21st century is increasingly the greatest period in history for working and living as an entrepreneur. Those who focus all their time, efforts, and teamwork on their unique abilities will enjoy entire lifetimes that are increasingly successful, satisfying, and significant.
Sounds good. Did it go away? No, we're done. All right.
There you go.
All right. So when I watched that, and we've watched it several times, I like watching it because it brings me back to, oh yes, that's my goal. Try to get back to those, doing those things that really fit me. And the great thing is our organizations are hopefully diverse enough that we can spread out the work so that people are working in their unique abilities. A lot of times I kind of characterize it to people because unique abilities, you're like, well, what's special about me? I don't know what my area of uniqueness is. It is that area where I characterize it as getting into the flow. So I know I'm doing something that's plays to my strength when I lose track of all time. So unfortunately for me, sometimes it's a statement of cash flows. Not everybody really appreciates that statement. But that's an area I can be working in, and I can lose an hour, a couple hours working on a set of financial statements. So I know that's when I'm tapping into my own unique ability. Our goal in our leadership team is to make sure when we start putting them on this accountability chart, that we're working and placing them in roles that fit into that flow for them, where they're playing to their best qualities. The next step is to figure out, do these people get it, want it, or have the capacity to do it? When we've communicated roles and responsibilities effectively with measurable outcomes, one of two things are going to happen. That individual will be able to step into that role and take charge of it, which is an indication that they have get it, want it, and capacity to do that. Or the individual will never completely take control of that role or responsibility, which means one of the factors is missing for this person. And the end result is the person we placed in that role is going to be frustrated, and we will be frustrated because eventually we're going to end up taking up the slack for them. That creates resentment and generally not a good place for us to be. So what does it look like when somebody gets it? It sounds subjective, but if you sit and think about it, and we've done this where we have a checklist, and we get together as a team and discuss it, you can generally observe when somebody gets it. They understand the role, they get the culture of your organization, they're aware of all the different processes within your organization. They can keep up with the pace of the work. They're not overwhelmed, and they know how the whole thing comes together. Want it? What does that look like? Well, they generally like the role. They're already motivated to be in that role. They are ready to accept all of the responsibility that comes with it, and they understand the compensation or payoff they will receive from this role. That one's critical. If we don't have alignment for compensation and payoff, I know many times in our organization, it may not result in a huge compensation, but they understand the payoff they're getting personally by being in this role. If we don't have alignment in that area, they're going to fail in this role. Capacity. Capacity is a hard thing. A lot of people say they're ready for something, but they don't have all the pieces in place. Things, their schedule at home, their personal life, just their own journey in life. Emotionally, they may not be up to the demand of the role they're being placed in, and that will have bad results. They need to understand the time commitment for the role they're taking over so that they can complete the role and perform with success in this role. And the last part is they should have the knowledge and skills to perform the role right now. A lot of times we place people in roles and give them accountability for things that we think they have the potential for, but they've not actually done it. And so when we do that, and sometimes we have to understand that we're putting somebody in a role where we think they have the potential, and we have to provide the extra support for them. Should we put a person into a role where they don't actually have all the knowledge and skills and have already performed the task. Before we go on, that was a lot. I'm looking to see, does anybody have any questions? Any big thoughts they would like to share? Nothing in the chat, Hannah?
No, nothing in the chat.
All right. So we'll move on to the accountability chart, and Hannah's going to go over that.
So when you create your accountability chart, you're going to move away from the thought process of an org chart. An accountability chart is different. The accountability chart is based on the 3 to 7 processes or functions that are necessary for your organization to meet its mission. So think about things that keep your organization running. You know, what are your major processes? Do you have fundraising? Do you have finance? Do you have volunteer coordination? Whatever those essential functions are, start thinking about those things. You're going to select your integrator. The integrator is the person who makes everything happen. So they're the one who holds the organization together. They make sure everything happens. They're the one that typically makes sure that processes don't get changed or move forward until they're ready. So that's typically the integrator. And then there's the visionary. The visionary is the person who has all the ideas. So they're the one who's always going, what if we tried this? What if we tried that? Typically, the integrator is the one who's going to go, wait, hold on. You know, let's think about this first. That's why you want to have a visionary and an integrator. They go hand in hand. When you create your accountability chart, the same person can be in multiple seats, except for the integrator and visionary. They got to be 2 different people. Be prepared to make changes with your accountability chart. Our accountability chart has gone through about 3 revisions. The person who's accountable for a process is not the person in charge of it. They're the person who's accountable. So if something's going wrong, you can go to them and ask them about it, but they're not necessarily the person who's in charge of it. We can go to the next slide. So here's an example of one of our iterations of our accountability chart. You can see at the very top, you start with the visionary. The visionary in our organization is Pete. He's thinking about all the different ideas. He comes up with new software ideas. He's going to get creative. He's thinking about growth. Then we have the integrator, who's Chad, our CEO. So he's the person who's going, okay, let's make sure that we do any changes correctly. He's thinking about systems and processes. He's thinking about communication, problem solving. What are our values and how does this all fit together? And then underneath we have sales and marketing, we have operations, we have finance, and you can see that each one of these has a couple different things that the person's accountable for underneath that bucket. So it's not going to be an extensive list. But for example, under finance, there's legal, budgeting, forecasting, AR, HR. So this is just an example of, you know, what has worked well for our organization. There's going to be different things that are going to work best for your organization. For a while, we had a couple blank spaces. So when you build your accountability chart, you might have a couple blank spaces. Does anybody have any questions on the accountability chart? Okay. Go to the next slide, please. So the integrator, to maintain harmony among the major processes of the organization, each organization needs an integrator. The integrator can have many other titles, but no matter what you call it, the right integrator for the organization is the person who has the unique ability to manage daily issues as they come up, and the ability to integrate all the major processes of the organization into one harmonious group. The integrator acts as the glue that keeps the team together. So the integrator is the one that holds everything together and goes, okay, how does this process affect this process? And how does everything interact with each other inside of the organization? Next slide.
And I'll just bring up one thing. The integrator has to be somebody who can hold people accountable.
Mhm.
So if we go back to the previous slide, I forgot, let's see if we can go back. what you'll see is lead managed and hold accountable. And you'll see that on every individual in the accountability chart except for one person, the visionary. Because typically what we find is the visionary is not very good at holding people accountable. But the person we place in the integrator role has to be very good at holding people accountable. Having frank, honest conversations with people to be able to say, you know, this is in your area of responsibility. What can we do to help you move forward and get this accomplished?
The visionary. The visionaries are the dreamers. They're the ones constantly coming up with new ideas. Every week they have a new list of ideas. They're a natural creative problem solver. They tend to operate more on emotion than on logic. Although sometimes that's not necessarily true. Sometimes they can be a very logical person, but they're a highly creative, big idea kind of person. They strongly value the company culture. They offer integrators a creative insight to the organization. While integrators provide the logical and structured approach that's needed, the visionaries coming in with the creative, which is why, you know, pairing them together is a way to make sure that you don't have an organization that's changing so rapidly that no one can keep up, as well as not having an organization that's stagnant and not moving forward. We're gonna break into groups right now and start a workshop. So I emailed everybody a handout, which you should have, but if you don't have it, if you go into chat, I did post the handout in chat. In your workshops, you're gonna have 15 minutes of time for you yourself to think about who's your visionary and who's your integrator. So start there and start with identifying those folks in your organization. Then you're going to start building out your accountability chart with some of the core functions and processes of your organization. If you don't have a person for that seat yet, that's okay. You can just leave it blank. And then if you have extra time, you can start identifying either is there an individual who fits in this seat where it's their unique ability, or you can put a question mark there and go, no, we don't have this person right now, but we need to identify this person.
Yeah, when we first went through this process, we were like, we don't have people for all this. But lo and behold, you know, as we sat with it, the processes we had where we didn't have somebody accountable or we had people wearing too many hats, it's sort of like once you think of it, it starts to come and things happen. I don't want to quote Field of Dreams, but if you build it, they will come. So the important part is to put it down as you think it should be, and work from there.
And I'm just assigning the rooms real quick. Okay. I'm going to open the rooms. Let's see, Brenda, I got to get you in a room. And Lisa.